Are men born without value? That is the thought for this video. This comes from Red Pill ideology. This comes from conversations we've had about what gets thrown at young men, about what gets thrown at our gender, in the sense of saying that we as men are born without value, and therefore we have to build a life, we have to build ourselves to have value. And then Red Pill sends the message that if you do not have value, that if you as a man don't do anything with your life and you don't attain any sort of value, you are done in the dating scene because women only want valuable men. So are men born without value then? I don't think so. My thought, the way I go about viewing the world, experiencing the world. You are born with value. You are born with value. And this is regardless of gender. The other thing that comes from Red Pill is that women are born with value, but then as they get older or as they do certain things, they lose their value. So my thought is that no one loses their value. Women or men, we do not lose value. Men or women, we are born with value. However, where I do kind of see the understanding from Red Pill is that as men, you do need to do something with your life, but not because you're going to gain value, simply because it is our purpose as men, for women too, but again, just seeing it from the lens of my gender. As men, we are all born with a purpose. God, your belief system, will eventually lay it out for you if you seek it, will eventually give you the answers if you seek them. But as men, yes, we are all born with value, but we are also born with a purpose. And sometimes we're so caught up on having value that we lose track of what our purpose is. So I wrote, you do need to live for your purpose in order for that value to show. So we are born with value. Sometimes that value doesn't show though. Sometimes we feel it, right? And we see it in ourselves and we're like, I'm a valuable man, I'm a valuable person. Like, I haven't done this, I haven't done that. But if you can understand that the value is there, it's just not showing. So in order for that value to show, in order for that value to just glow, to send that message to people that, hey, this person has value. And again, that's not even something that you should be seeking when it comes to value. Like, oh, like I want people to know that I have value. As always, boys, for yourself, everything for yourself. For God first and then for yourself, right? But with your higher self, understanding that God is inside you, that we are a temple for God, for yourself first, God, right? Just because it is not showing or glowing at the moment does not mean that you do not have value. You were born with value. Try and just get that into your head and try and get that whole Red Pill ideology out of it, of being born without value, of not being born with value. You are born with value. Whoever comes across this, understand that you are born with value. This is also important for women to understand because, like I said, Red Pill tells us that women are born with value, and then as they age, as they do certain things, they lose value. But again, that is not the case. It just maybe means, again, that perhaps that value was showing, like for women, that value was showing, it was glowing, and then it just kind of started hiding, it started dimming based on just actions. And for either gender, we do actions, we do things, and again, away from whatever it is that Red Pill says about women, we all do actions, we all do things that take value away, but again, like hides it. Don't ever think that you just lose value, because just The simple fact, boys, the simple fact that we are breathing, that God is allowing us to experience life, to create this reality, to just go about exploring and experiencing what it is to live life for the first time, because that's what we're all doing. We're all experiencing life for the first time. Understand that we are born with value simply by the grace of God. So, value does not leave you. You do not lose value. It just simply means that it's dim. It simply means that it's hiding, but it's there. And we can always get it to glow. We can always get it to show. It's not that once you do something and it hides and it dims, that's it forever. It's never going to glow. It's never going to be bright as it used to. If anything, it can get as brighter as it used to, and even more than it used to. We are known to say that someone is valuable or not valuable. Like, to me, whenever I come across red pill, and I tell you boys all the time, like, whenever you guys see those videos and you guys are like, oh, like, okay, like, what gives a person the power, the authority to say that person is not valuable? Like, to me, it doesn't make sense. We are no one to say who has value and who isn't valuable. Treat people the way you want to be treated. Isn't that like the golden rule? Isn't that what you should strive for? And the reason why I say that is because we all mess up. And when we mess up, it's shitty when the consequences come, and it's shitty when we might have people like, oh, like, you did this, you did that. Whereas, like, if I see someone who messes up and I see myself in their shoes, and I can put myself in their shoes and understand that when I mess up, I don't want that to happen to me, then why the fuck would I then be doing it to another person? Treat people the way you want to be treated. Which again ties into understanding that we all have value, and that we have no right, no power, no authority to say that person has no value, that person lost their value, that's not a valuable man. And then I want to tie it to dating, because that's why the red pill is about valuable man. Dating, so value. Understand that you do need to be an amazing man, extraordinary man, a man of value, but because and for God, not for women, not for anyone else, not for anything else. Simply because God resides in you, and you're like, dude, I am a temple for God. If I am a temple for God, I gotta be the best. I gotta be an amazing temple for God, the most powerful, the most high, to reside in me. So when it comes to dating, yes, understand that you need that value to be showing, but because it's part of being a man to be valuable, to have something going on for your life. Not for women, but obviously, being a guy myself and dating and eventually wanting a partner for myself, I understand that I am on my purpose, and that I do want to make something out of my life. I want to continue to be on my purpose. I want to be just extraordinary. I want to be amazing at whatever it is that I do, at whatever it is that comes out of my purpose, out of my career. I want these things for God and because of God. But again, understanding that I am a guy, I also want these things so that I can have a partner, and that I can choose a partner. Does that make sense? Of why, when it comes to dating, yes, like, have value, but again, it's not like, oh shit, like, I'm gonna have value, I'm gonna have all these women. Perhaps, sure, like, yes, you say that does happen, but even then, like, it's not the same as saying, like, I want value, I want to create something for my life just because it's in me, just because of me. Tying it to, again, validation, seeking validation from women, which is Red pill, red pill, red pill. In its own way, at least the way I see it. The problem is that we want to build, we want to create, we want to be men of value for women. Then we get frustrated when women don't come when we are valuable. Like we do things and we're like, dude, like this should be giving me value. Like, oh shoot, like I'm a valuable man. Where are my options? Where are the women? It should not be like that. It should be like, I'm an amazing man. I'm a valuable man. I'm on my purpose. God, give me more. God, give me guidance because I want to keep building on this. And then by knowing that I am on my purpose, I know that if the reality, if the lifestyle that I want to create, I'm going to have a solid woman next to me, that will come. That will come. But it will come when I am focused on my purpose, when I am just doing my thing for God. If I were to be doing it for that woman, for that partner that I eventually want, would it be the same as building something for God, for yourself? And then again, tying it to dating, tying it to the ideology where they say that women lose value. All women are valuable, but understand that we all have preferences. Never mistake your preference with belittling another person, with making another person less than you, with thinking that you only chase women with value, with thinking that you only surround yourself with women that have value, because all women have value. It doesn't matter, again, boys, it does not matter. We always get into some good arguments for this. It does not matter that her past, her actions, all those things, those are things you cannot control for a potential partner, for a woman. But just because of those things does not mean that it makes them less valuable than another person, than another woman. You just think of it as your preference. It just means that you prefer someone with something else. Ouch. Someone with something else. Someone with certain things, with certain qualities. But again, never mistake your preference with thinking that there are women with no value and that those women should not be chosen, that those women don't deserve anything like that. Because all women have value, all men have value. Thinking that you only chase women who have value versus women who don't have value kind of throws you off as well in regards to like seeking the partner that is meant to be. And I hear you guys where like, oh, but like women tell other women only date guy. Oof, I'll have to move this of that comments, right? Of like women tell other women to only date valuable men, to only date men this that, to only date up. What do I tell you guys about that? Cool, that is not our problem, that is not our issue. If we were doing our job correctly as men, as a gender, guess what? Those conversations probably weren't going to be taking place, right? They would not be having these discussions if we as men were doing our job for society. So, sure, maybe it's upsetting, maybe it's annoying that you hear women say like, oh, only date up, only date men with value, like all these things that they maybe think that some men don't have value. But who cares, bro? Like, we are men. Like, let's address our issues. Let's address us as men. And then try and have some effect. Try and see how we can influence the other gender. But we are quick to just jump at them rather than kind of just focus on us first. So if they preach that to them, then who cares? Right? Just do the work for you. Understand what it is to be a man for our gender. I always tell you boys, we lead. We are the foundation of society. And if we were doing a good job, society would be better. Society would not be at the place it is right now if we as men did our job. So if they preach that, then who cares? We are men. All women have value, but also don't be dumb to just choose any woman as a partner. And that is just what I will leave this video with in regards to that, in regards to dating. Don't be dumb to choose a partner. Understand that we all have value. We all have preferences too. And that we never, as men, we never lose our value. We just have to continue to be on our purpose, continue to seek God so that that value can show, so that value can glow. But we never lose value. We are born with value, regardless of gender.